Good evening, this is Rashad Mitchell coming to you live from my YouTube channel to continue my part series. The week that was college football history review, the 1992 college football season. It's been a long time since I've been speaking on these in the series. I've been showing just information. That's it. But this is different, obviously. Whenever I start a new year to talk about college football, I start with reading the overview of the college football season for a certain year in particular. It's the 92 season, so let's get into it. It was the year of the first conference championship game. Hurricane Andrew and Alabama Sugar surprise. Let's get into it. Bear with me. After 2 straight years of split decisions in the writers and coaches poll, the claim for a postseason playoff was louder than ever in 1992. The bowl committees, fearing a loss of power, scurried to create a potential number one versus number two matchup for the national title to be played in one of their bowls. There were 7 bowls, not including the rows which remained either to the Big Ten and Pac-10 champions signed with the ACC, Big East, the Big 8, SEC, SWC, the Southwestern Conference. Southwest Conference, Notre Dame to arrange a system to encourage a matchup for first and second ranked teams in one of the bowls. The master plan succeeded in matching top ranked Miami with number 2 SEC champion Alabama, which clinched its conference title with a win over SEC champion of the East, Florida, in college football's first ever conference playoff game. So when SEC Commissioner Roy Kramer induced Arkansas and South Carolina to join the elite conference, it created this opportunity to split the league into 2 divisions and play a championship game between the two titleists. It was instantly popular for the most rabid fans in any region and served as plenty of cash for one of college football's most successful conferences. The SEC title game was served, for better or worse, as the blueprint for other conferences. Meanwhile, the Miami Hurricanes survived an 8-7 home scare at the hands of Arizona's Desert Swarm defense as Steve McLaughlin long last play field goal sailed wide. On consecutive weeks in October, Miami brushed aside Florida State as the Seminoles again missed a vital late field goal against the Hurricanes in Penn State on the road. Those 2 wins were sufficiently impressive to place Miami number 1 until its Alabama showdown. The Hurricanes faced no easy task, especially in the early season, when the irony of their nickname struck too close to home. As Hurricane Andrew, the third most intense storm, 22 millibars pressure, and the most costly, 26.5 billion of damage to make landfall to date in the United States, wiped out the family homes of many players and that of head coach Dennis Erickson. It was clearly difficult for Miami players to bench their sorrow and play, but the shared devastation helped bond them in their quest for an unprecedented 4th national championship in 6 years during the school's remarkable recent run. Because of frequent on-field acts of arrogance, Miami was nearly every fan's favorite to hate, but the humbling experience of Hurricane Andrew did much to tone down that behavior in 1992. Meanwhile, in the Sugar Bowl, underdog Alabama combined a brilliant defensive scheme, a rugged ground attack to utterly surprise the seemingly untouchable Hurricanes. Miami Hurricanes entered the game with a 29-game winning streak and a record of 66-4 since its jolting loss in 1987 Fiesta Bowl to Penn State. The Canes also had Heisman Trophy winner quarterback Geno Terrell and 3 defenders, linebackers Michael Barrow, Darren Smith, cornerback Ryan McNeil, who had earned All-American status and mention. Instead, coach Gene Stone's blue-collar Crimson Tide prevailed in a fascinating game that ABC gladly broadcast in primetime on its own night. The Rose Bowl exhausted some of its appeal when Big Ten champion Michigan was tied by Illinois and Ohio State in its last 2 regular season games. Pac-10 co-winner Washington was beaten by Arizona. Washington State, after entering November with the 8-0 slate. Washington's fall from number 2 spot made possible the coalition's number 1 versus 2 matchup in New Orleans. Made it possible. Otherwise, Washington would have ruined the plan since the Rose Bowl played no part in the major bowl agreement. The collapse came amid turmoil over a booster loan to quarterback Billy Joe Hobert. The issue seemed to tear down the Huskies. Penn State locked out of the bowl collision a year away from any football opportunity with the Big Ten, was left in bowl no man's land. As a result, they cut an extraordinarily early deal made with the Blockbuster Bowl. The scheme lost some fizz when The Nittany Lions lost 4 of their last 6 games. Stanford celebrating the return of genius coach Bill Walsh, dominating the Blockbuster Bowl 24-3, using this notable defense not always highlight of Walsh coach teams. The result enhanced a fine season for the Cardinals as they tied Washington as Pac-10 co-champions, which turned out, however, to be Walsh's last fine season as a coach. Out in the cold was number 4 Texas A&M, which hoped for a long shot national title opportunity if it could win the Cotton Bowl over number 3 Florida State. Somehow the Sugar Bowl ended in an unsatisfying standoff, but Cotton Bowl organizers ruffled coalition voters by bypassing the passing the Seminoles and opting for Notre Dame's better TV appeal. Any hopes the Aggies harbored for a backdoor national championship crumbled when 4 players were suspended prior to the bowl for some job irregularities. And the Fighting Irish taught them a stern 28-3 lesson in Dallas. 2 SEC coaches saw their stellar careers crumble with unbelievable speed. A contract extension was drafted before Johnny Majors of Tennessee the same summer day he underwent heart bypass surgery. The interim coach Philip Fulmer opened 3-0. Majors returned to lose games to Arkansas and Alabama. Suddenly, the new contract was withdrawn, and Majors was out of Tennessee's coaching picture, being replaced by Philip Fulmer in time for bowl season. Pat Dye of Auburn faced player payment charges from former defensive back Eric Ramsey. The second straight 5-win season hastened Dye's departure from the Lower Village on the Plain. On the other hand, admired longtime coaching stalwarts Bill Dooley of Wake Forest, Grant Tifa of Baylor, guided their overachieving teams to bowl wins over Oregon and Arizona, respectively, before they enjoyed their newfound retirement. Now let's look at the milestones for 1992 college football season. You had new rule allowed defense to advance almost from any spot on the field. Southwestern Conference added South Carolina and Arkansas as new members and split into 16 East and West divisions. College football's first ever intra-conference championship game was contested between Florida and Alabama, December 5th in Birmingham. Western Athletic Conference added Fresno State, expanding its rank to 10th. No school entered season on probation. All 107 Division 1A schools were eligible for bowl games. As Lou Groza Award was introduced by Palm Beach, Florida Company and its company sports commission to honor former Ohio State Cleveland Browns kicker. Also, Auburn retired Heisman Trophy winner Bo Jackson's jersey at number 34 that he wore on October 31st. The longest winning streaks entering the college football season for 1992, Miami had an 18-game winning streak, Washington had a 14-game winning streak, and East Carolina had an 11-game winning streak. The new coach that took place in 1992, new coaches was Bruce Snyder, Arizona State, California, Keith Gilbertson, Georgia Tech, Bill Lewis, Maryland, Mark Duffner, Minnesota, Jim Racker, New Mexico, Dennis Frenchie Young, Northwestern, Gary Barnett, Bill Walsh, Stanford, Philip Fulmer, Tennessee, Texas, John Malkovich, and Texas Christian, Pat Sullivan. It is the preseason USA Today coaches poll. Number 1 was Miami, 2 Washington, 3 Notre Dame, 4 Florida State, 5 Michigan, 6 Florida, 7 Texas A&M, 8 Penn State, 9 Alabama, 10 Syracuse, 11 Nebraska, 12 Oklahoma, 13 Clemson, 14 Colorado, 15 Iowa, 16 Georgia, 17 UCLA, 18 Ohio State, 19 Tennessee, 20 Stanford, Brigham Young, number 21, 22 California, and the tie for the number 23 spot, Georgia Tech and Texas, followed by Southern California. Now, the season started on August 29th, 1992, but there was a game that was played on Wednesday. So that's really like the official start between Texas A&M and Stanford. But Texas A&M, the number 7 team in the country, beat Stanford, the number 20 team in the country, and about 2 top 20 teams. Number 7 Texas A&M, number 20 Stanford. Texas A&M 110-7 in Anaheim. Bill Walsh, highly successful Super Bowl coach for San Francisco 49ers, was back at Stanford, where he had led Cardinal to 17-7 record, including 2 bowl wins in 1977 and 1978. East defense was Woods' finished season at 9th and 18th in scoring prevention, respectively, sparked the Disneyland Pigskin Classic. Even though quarterback Steve Stenstrom had to run for his life from swift Texas A&M defense, the Cardinal scored on fullback J.J. Lastly's 5-yard run on first play of second quarter after running back Glenn Milburn. Glenn Milburn. 27-yard punt return. Aggies quarterback Jeff Granger, yanked for weak passing performance in first half, returned to heave tying fourth quarter touchdown pass to tight end Greg Sharp. A&M. A&M. Excuse me. Kicker Terry Venner. Tulius. 39-yard field goal won it with 4:27 left after Stenstrom was picked off, and Granger contributed 33-yard scramble to Stanford 29-yard line. Finally, North Carolina State beat Iowa 24-14 in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The kickoff classic officials attempted to match up 1991 co-champions Miami and Washington. They had to settle for smallest attractions to Giant Stadium, 46,251 in preseason bowls, 10-year history, as Iowa quarterback Jim Hartlieb threw 23 and 9-yard touchdown passes to wide receiver Danon Hughes in second quarter, tying the game at 14 apiece just before halftime. But would stay that way until Wolfpack's sophomore kicker Steve Vodicich 46-yard field goal broke it with 6:50 left. Happiest combatant had to be NC State quarterback Terry Jordan, who missed 7 games in 1991 with broken non-throwing arm. Jordan rushed 13 times for 91 yards, including 33-yard option run that boosted game-winning 81-yard touchdown march to tailback Gary Downs. 2-yard scoring run as Jordan's touchdown pass came after Vodicich fourth quarter field goal clinched verdict for Coach Dick Sheridan's Wolfpack. Here's the top 25 of August 31st. You had California, number 25, number 24, Georgia Tech, 23, Texas, 22, Stanford, 21, Brigham Young, 20, Iowa, 19, Tennessee, 18, Ohio State, 17, North Carolina State, 16, UCLA, 15, Georgia, 14, Clemson, 13 was Colorado, 12, Oklahoma, 11, Nebraska, 10, Syracuse, 9, Alabama, Texas A&M, 8, 7, Penn State, 6, Michigan, 5, Florida, Florida State, 4, Notre Dame, 3, 2, Washington, number 1, Miami. September 5th, 1992. This is maybe you want to call it week 2. Maybe leave that alone. It's official week 1. I want to go ahead of myself. So that's the first week to start the season. It was August 29th. So I'm going to leave that alone and save it for next time. So I'm going to stop right here and do September 5th, 1992 another time. You call it week 1, week 2, the second week, because everybody wasn't really starting their seasons on time. But the first week was on August 29th. During that week, a couple of games were played. So I'm going to just do the next week, the second week. I got to call that the second week. Do my research on that. Of the 92 season. So I'm going to stop right here. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the channel. Do videos magnitude another time. Till then, talk to you soon.